Hello everyone and welcome to Salesforce Unlock. In today's slide, I will going to discuss about Apex syntax structure and comments. So now that we have explored the development tools, let's start writing our first Apex code by understanding Apex syntax and code structure. So the first point in the slide is about the class structure. In Apex, all the code is organized inside the classes. A class acts as a blueprint that contains variables and methods used to perform specific tasks. We declare it using the class keyword in Apex. So we can have an example where we declare a new class like hello world using a class keyword and an access specifier. So in this way, every Apex program starts with a class definition, which making the classes building block of Apex development. So the next point in the slide is about the methods and variables. Variables are used to store the data while methods define the actions or behavior. So for instance, inside a class definition, we can have a variable to store the data, and also we can have methods which will perform certain actions on that particular variable, or it will perform certain business logic and separate, entirely different. So in this way, both methods and variable works inside a class definition. So the next point in the slide is about single line comments and multi-line comments. So comments helps explain the code and it improves the readability in the Apex code. So single line comments are basically used for short explanation. It starts with double slash. Also, Salesforce execute also during the Salesforce execution, these comments are ignored. Likewise, the multi-line comments are used for longer description or documentation purpose. It starts with slash star and ends with star slash. So these are useful when documenting some complex business logic. Uh, so in this way, the comments helps us understand code and it improves the readability. The next point in the slide is about the naming convention. So following proper naming convention makes the code easier to read and maintain. There are some common practices like to provide meaningful class names or to use camel case for variables and methods. So camel case is where the first letter of the variable or method will start with a small letter. Also using Pascal case for class name. Pascal case is like the class name must starts with a capital letter. Also avoiding abbreviations whenever possible. So these are some of the basic naming convention which every Salesforce developer need to follow and to make a habit to write a clean and consistent code. So this was all about the Apex syntax structure and comments. So now that I am in my org to create the first Apex programming code, we need to navigate to setup, and from setup we need to choose the developer console. So if you are in a developer org with a system admin access, you will have access to the developer console. So developer console, as we discussed in previous slide, is a native Salesforce platform ID which is used to uh, define Apex code. So we'll use this ID as it's a basic and starting block for every Salesforce developer. So once you click on the developer console, it will open a window like this. Okay, so this is the Salesforce ID. So here I will go ahead and create a new Apex class. So you can see there are multiple options in this ID like file, edit, debug, test, workspace, etc., which can be used by Salesforce developers. So we can check this later. For now, I will go ahead and click on new and click on Apex class. You can also see there are list of components which are available to create in this ID. So I will go ahead and click a new Apex class. I will give this Apex class name as Hello World and click on OK. So in this way, you can see a new Apex class has been created with the class keyword and access specifier as public. So I will demonstrate how single line and multi-line comment will work. So let me just show you. So as we discussed, the multi-line comments are something which start with slash and it's used for documentation and description purpose. So we can define multi-line comments in this way, where we can use it for documentation purpose to define what uh, class is and what is its functionality, along with the author and details like date. Our first Apex class. Okay, so in this way, the multi-line comments are used for documentation purpose. Likewise, we discuss about single line comment. It starts with double slash and it is used for short explanations. So in the next line, I will be going to declare a variable. So I will just provide a single line comment stating the same. So as we discussed, the comments in the Apex code execution gets ignored when the compiler runs. So this comment has no meaning, but it will just use for documentation and information purpose. So the next thing which we discuss is about variables. So variables are used to store the values. So in this example, I will create a simple variable called message and will store a string value like hello and welcome to Salesforce Unlocked. So now that I have my value stored, I will also define one method which will use this value and which will use to display this value. So I will create a method like display message. Methods in Salesforce are declared using the method name and the circular brackets along with opening and closing bracket and a return type. So in this case, I will keep it as void, which means it will not return any data type. And I will just print this message using system.debug statement. So in this way, we have created our first Apex program. So let's save this by clicking Control S. Okay, so now that our class has been saved, we will quickly go ahead and execute this class and execute the display message. So to do that, I will go and click on the Apex Anonymous. You can make this window available by using Control E, or you can also go on the debug and click on Open Execute Anonymous window. So this Execute Anonymous window is used for performing sorry, it's used for executing the Salesforce code. So here we have a class declared as hello world. So I will create an object for this hello world class like hello world object new hello world, and I will simply call this display message and will click on execute. I will also check this as it will open the log and click on execute. Okay, it's a method is not visible. That means we need to do this method as public. I will quickly go here and change the return type as, sorry, the access specifier as public so that it will be available in my anonymous window and click on execute. So now that I have executed, to check the debug, you need to check this debug only checkbox and you can see the message variable. So we have the message. It says message. because we have the string message. Also, we will just pass this message like the as a whole message. And I will go ahead and again rerun this. In now it should say message and hello world, welcome to Salesforce Unlocked.
Thanks for watching Salesforce Unlocked. If you found this helpful, stay tuned for more Salesforce tips and tutorials. See you in the next video.